Today I'm going to show you how to load and prime the Dixie Narco 501E and Dixie Narco 276 can and bottle drink vending machine. First you do when you get your machine, you're going to open the door up on the machine. This particular machine here is a Dixie Narco 501E and it's 9 selections. Dixie Narco 276E will be 7 selections. On all the Dixie Narcos, the selections are from right to left. In this machine here, this is column number 1. This is column number 9. On a 276E, it would be 1 and would be 7 over here. So if you notice, specifically just for the Dixie Narco 501E, you actually have a wide column on number 1. And to load that column, there's actually a different way than loading all the other columns. In this column, there's actually a bar that runs the entire depth of the column. This bar may be leaning on the right or the left of the unit. So you want to make sure you start loading on that proper side of the bar. And let's take a look at the bar. And you can see here the bar is leaning to the right, so we're going to load on the right-hand side. So to do that, I'm just going to grab some cans. And if you're making 12-ounce cans to the column, it's going to be 3 cans deep. I like to put the can pull tabs facing the rear. So I'll put the first can in. I'm going to slide as far back as I can. Next can that goes in, until we're loaded like that. So we actually have 3 cans deep in this selection. Once we're started loading on the right-hand side, we'll now move over to the left-hand side. If you receive your machine and that bar is leaning to the left-hand side, you'll load on the left, then switch to the right and stagger your cans all the way up. Again, pull tabs facing the rear. Cans on the left-hand side, slide it all the way back. Now this would be set up for the first 6 cans in that column. If you're going to be loading the narrow columns, which are going to be 8 in a 501E, and there's going to be 7 in a 276E, again, 12-ounce cans are 3 deep. To do that, you'll take your 12-ounce cans, again, pull tabs face the rear. Can goes in, you slide as far back as you can. Next can in. And the next can in goes like that. I'll have you take a peek at the cans there. You'll notice we've got 3 cans deep. Now the whole point of these cans is there's this little flap right here where my finger's pushing down. This is called the sold out flap. The point of putting our cans here is the cans will be pressing down on that flap, letting the computer board know that there are drinks in the column. You'll notice that right now there are 3 drinks in there, but the flap is up, indicating that the selection is actually, or column is sold out. This is where priming will come into play, which we're about to discuss here in a few minutes. If you're to load bottles into the machine, bottles will always load 2 deep. 12-ounce cans are always 3 deep, bottles are 2 deep. With that, you're going to put the caps facing the rear, so the bottles are going to go in like this. So I'll put it in here, bottle cap in the rear, in goes the bottle, next one. Goes in front of it. The bottles will look like so once loaded into the actual column. And again, this machine here, we have a little sold out flap. So again, if we continue to load the bottles all the way up, this flap will get pushed down by the products. You're going to get about 24 bottles into the machine if you're running 16-ounce, 20-ounce bottles or 16.9-ounce bottles. Once you get your products loaded into the columns, I recommend you load probably around about 12 cans and 8 to 10 bottles. You're going to want to prime the machine. And what priming does is bring the products down to the drop area and get them ready to vent. So to do that, you're going to go to the inside of the main door, and you'll be looking for the main control board. On Dixie Narco 501Es and 276Es, the main control board is going to be mounted up in the left-hand corner here, or they can be mounted in the center of the door. Ours in this machine here is up on the left-hand side, and what we're going to be looking for is a little blue button. And my finger's pointing that. Hopefully we get that on camera. But that is the mode button. By pressing this button, we can access all the different modes the machine has for programming purposes. To do that, I'm going to press this button 1 time, and then we're going to come around to the front of the machine, and we'll have HD on the display. That stands for historical data. This is sales data. To cycle the menu on this machine, we're going to be pressing selection buttons 1 and 2 together at the same time. You press and hold until the menu cycles around. We're going to stop at DIAG. DIAG, short for diagnostics. To enter diagnostics, I'm going to press and hold selection button number 1 until it reads SE-1. I'm going to let go, and then we have SE. I want to bring next step here for priming is I'm going to take the selection buttons 1 and 2 together at the same time, press and hold, and I'm going to stop at MT-1. We have motor test-1. Here, I'm actually can now cycle to the different motors or columns. So this is column number 5. If I press and hold, it'll go to column number 7, 6, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to go back to column 1. And if I want to activate the column, I'll press selection button 2. Regardless of what the number is here, you're always going to use button 2 to activate the column. For example, we're going to prime up selection number 1. So what I'll do is I will press the selection button number 2, and it says testing. And actually, the column is actually rotating at this point in time. I'm going to keep doing this until something actually drops out of the bottom here. We got 1 can. This selection is now ready to vend and is primed. I'm going to move to column number 2. I will again press selection button number 1 until it says MT2, and then I'm going to press and hold, press selection button 2, and you can actually see the cans rotate. Drop the drink. That selection is now ready to prime. The same thing will carry over to all your selections. You want to do this to every single selection until you have a product dropping out of every single column. At that point, your machine is primed and ready to go. The last thing you're going to want to do is add coins to your coin changer. Again, we're back on the inside of the main door. You'll have a coin changer with tubes. In order for the machine to take dollar bills, you're going to need a roll of nickels, dimes, and quarters is what we recommend. Minimum is 12 coins in each tube, but there is a slot at the top of each tube that you can drop your coins into. Once you have a minimum of 12 coins, again, we recommend a roll of each. That will enable the dollar bill acceptor. The machine must have change before it will take bills. Once you have that set, you're done. You can go ahead and fill out the remaining parts of your columns and close the door when you're ready. Before you close the door, you can always pull on this switch here, which will put the machine back into sales mode, and then you can close the door. And you'll be ready to vend. That should get you set up with your priming and your loading of your drink of your Dixie Narco 276E or 501E. Thank you for watching.